All right, folks, welcome to the second annual Evansville Wrestling Preview Show. I'm very excited to be here tonight. My name is Mason Braunschweig. With me is John Fry behind the curtain, as it were. And we're here to talk about some wrestling with all of these fine Evansville Blue Devil wrestlers. Let me give you a little bit. We got a lot to cover tonight, okay? We've got wrestling, we got the coaches, the wrestlers. We'll talk a little bit about the schedule. We'll talk about some recaps. We'll also have a surprise guest at the end of this, and we'll talk about a lot of fun stuff. But before we do any of that, I want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsor for the Evansville Wrestling YouTube channel, the Night Owl Sports Pub and Eatery. We're very excited to have this partnership with the Night Owl. The Artisan family, Greg and Rita, have done a lot of wonderful things for this community over the last 40 plus years. Of course, Greg Artisan, a little fun fact for everyone here. I don't know if you know, Greg Artisan started the Evansville Youth Wrestling Club here in Evansville. So he's the guy that's put the basement in. You guys are just building onto the house, okay? But we want to thank them. And of course, their sons, Travis and Trevor, who are part of this program. And in fact, Travis was a part of the 2005-2006 team, which won the first conference championship. And that's what we're going after every year. And the Artisans were a big part of that, and we'd like to help them out. By the way, Kent, you would know this. Greg Artisan's friends with an individual that helped him start that youth club program that has Middleton ties. Do you know who that individual is?
Sorry, couldn't tell you.
Parker Vivoda. You may have heard of him. But anyway, fun fact for Coach Weiler, I had to put him on the spot. Folks, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, hit subscribe, ring that bell, as it were. And we're going to go in a little different order this year. First, I want to introduce assistant varsity coach Jared Meyer. Jared, thanks for being here. First of all, I know some of your kids snuck out, but I want to give Coach Meyer this opportunity to introduce you to all the kids that are here, that stayed here, and say a little bit about them, please.
A little bit about them. All right, so I'll start with our two kind of senior leaders sitting in front. Blake Fry, on the right there. Blake, give a little wave, okay? Blake is a returning state qualifier. Was a first-team all-conference football player as well this year as an outside linebacker, or outside, I think, right? Yep. And then sitting next to him, give a wave, is Max Cather, another senior. Max has been a two-time sectional qualifier. He's worked very hard in the offseason, and we're looking to move past that and hopefully qualify for state this year. I'll start down at the end now. Colin Fry at the end. Colin, younger brother of Blake. Colin's going to be one of our little guys this year. You can kind of see that just taking a look at him. Fun fact about Colin, we didn't know if he was actually going to get up to our lowest weight class over the course of the last year or so. So he did a good job hitting the weight room, working hard, putting on the mass. He's going to be ready to go this year. Next to him, Carson Peterson. Carson, give a wave. Carson started out last year as our kind of like manager, statistician. That lasted for about 3 days. And then he was basically on the mat, scrapping, and now he's an integral part of the team. Next to him, Lincoln Keller, sophomore. Give a wave, Lincoln. Lincoln was a state qualifier last year as a freshman at 120 pounds. He's a little bit bigger this year, but hoping to repeat and expand on his success from last year. Caden Butts, next. Caden is a sophomore as well. Caden is kind of our go-to guy in terms of if you want a quality hog, Caden's your man, okay? That's where you're going. Good farming kid right here. Next to Caden, we've got Race Howlett, another sophomore. Race kind of bounced around between two weight classes last year, but came up pivotal in a couple big-time matches, particularly in one against Whitewater, where he was down and then kind of turned the tides towards the end of the match. Next to Race, we've got Danny Heiser, Jr. Danny is a two-time returning state champion, had a really successful summer competing in national tournaments, and he's looking to continue to build and grow. I'm going to go to the back. Leo Cather, kind of hiding in the back there. Leo is the younger brother of Max, sophomore. Leo wrestled all through youth, and then last year he gave basketball a try, and we are super happy to have him back. Super happy to have him back in wrestling. Next to Leo is Corbin Hoffman. Corbin is a freshman. I believe, Corbin, you just started wrestling last year, right? Hardworking kid, seems to be picking things up fast, and we're excited to have him part of the program. Kind of have two two guys at different ends of the spectrum. Next to Corbin is Alex Reyes. Alex is a senior, also first-year wrestler, though, or first year with the program here. And I'll echo the same thing for Alex with Corbin. Working really hard in practice, great practice partner, and seems to be picking up stuff really well. And also really willing to ask questions and seek out feedback to make sure he's doing things correctly. Next to Alex is Logan Olson. Logan, give a wave. Logan is one of our team comedians. You can count on him to keep the mood light and to drop a joke at the right time, or sometimes the wrong time also, but that's just who he is. Next to Logan, we've got Brad Bartz, Jr. Brad was a second team, all-conference offensive lineman this year, football. Also, big baseball player as well, but heck of a wrestler too. And then lastly, we've got Aiden Went. Aiden is a sophomore, another first-time wrestler. Aiden really seems to be working hard in the practice room, though, and you can see things clicking pretty quickly with him. So this is our group that is here. We've got some others who weren't able to stick around due to commitments or whatever it happened to be. So got a couple guys in the pep band out there too. So
that's right. Yeah, and I'm sure you got some people hunting too, and we'll have that. Well, thanks for introducing the squad to us, Coach Meyer. I got to tell you, I'm glad I told you to keep it all positive, right? Yeah. All right, Coach Rozanki, second year with the high school squad in the room. How's it going?
Good. We've, first week in the books, looking to build on from what we were doing last year. The new freshmen coming in have stepped up to the challenge each and every day and are making good progress. I think our leaders in the room have, helped guide them along and have kept them encouraged to, continually work hard and build every day. Build to be a better wrestler every day.
So like you said, it's early in the season. Do you think you're starting to see some sort of team identity begin to form? And if so, what is it?
I would say there's team identity starting to form already. They all work hard together. They seem to carry each other's backs very well. Everybody's supporting each other, giving gratitude at the end. I would just say right now they're just putting their nose to the grindstone and grinding it out each and every day to get a little bit better, to improve their conditioning.
Right, and this is the time, the beginning of the season, where we got to get back in wrestling shape. A lot of these kids might be in football shape or perhaps some other shapes, but this is the grind. This is it, and we got to get ready for December. So what do you do to keep it loose for the wrestlers?
I don't know, what do I do? What do I do to keep it loose? Sometimes I give guys high fives, or I'll slap somebody in the chest or make a funny joke at them or something. I think they do a job themselves, just keeping it loose in the room, not being too serious yet, or letting it get to them this early in the season. I think everybody, just each and every day they come to work and don't really let it shake them. That it's a hard practice. There isn't a practice that isn't hard, and they know that they're expected to work hard, and at the end of the day, they got a good workout in.
So kind of a business approach.
Yeah, I would say
work hard, play hard kind of approach.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Very good. We love hearing that. Coach Weiler, last year I asked you the big question, right? Are you rebuilding or are you reloading? Now don't answer that, okay? Because last year what you ultimately said a little bit of both, right? So let's talk about last year. Rock Valley Conference Championship, Super Regional Championship, Team Sectional Championship, Team State Qualifier for the second time in team history, 6 individual conference champs. Every single wrestler in the lineup, all 14, earned placement points at the conference tournament. 6 sectional qualifiers, 4 state qualifiers with a champion. With that, you You lose 5 seniors that had more than 120 wins for you last year. That's a loss. Now, I'll ask you, are we rebuilding or are we reloading? And I know as a fan, and based upon what happened last year and based upon how you answered it, I know the answer I want. What do we got?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say rebuilding or reloading. I'm gonna say the expectation is that we're gonna eventually get to the point where we're gonna put our best Evansville team on the mat. And with that being said, there's going to have to be some sacrifices with some individuals on where they end up with weights and where we go. It's a team environment. I like the fact of reloading. Yes, I think we're always building, and I think Evansville identity is starting to show, and that's where it's coming. We've had consistently good teams with a lot of great kids and a lot of great family support. Then we're going to continue on that and continue to grow from that. And I think we're just going to be grateful for having the opportunity to go out and compete every day and get better. And the kids that go on the mat are going to, put themselves in a position to wrestle as hard as they can for as long as they can.
So you touched on it a little bit. A lot of coaches don't like to let this out of their room. They like to keep it close to the chest. I'll ask you, and you tell me what you're comfortable saying in front of your viewers, a lot of your kids' parents, a lot of your opponents that are watching. What does this team have goals, and what are they?
Yeah, we'll obviously have goals, and we're going to keep those a little bit in-house. The identity of this team is going to grow throughout the season, and the expectation where we go. The goal that I would put out in front of them right now is just to go out and score the next point and win the next match. That's it. We can't go much further than that. This is a process, and when we lose 5 seniors from a team like last year that was at team state, those are going to be tough roles to fill. We have 4 seniors that are returning on this team, and we have a couple others that just joined the team that are seniors. We have 4 seniors on this team that we expect to go out and to pull the weight and lead by example, not only verbally but also by the example, and kind of show this team where we've been and what we're going. We also have a tough group of juniors and sophomores and a brand new group of freshmen that are tough. So it's going to take a little bit for our team to get to where we want, but it's a process, right? That's the process of coming in every day. Last year we chopped a lot of wood and carried a lot of water, if people understand that reference. So, and this year our team is jumping on the energy bus, and we're going to see what we're going to do with that. So we read a story about what's going on, and this year is the energy bus. Last year was chop wood, carry water. We're going to continue to chop wood and carry water, but we're going to have to bring some different level of energy by a bunch of different individuals to put ourselves in the situation where we can score the next point and win the next match or duel.
So we talk about, last year's, what the accomplishments, what you were able to do. This year, new region, new section. What kind of opportunities, what kind of challenges does that pose for this team?
That toughness that we're going to have to bring it's going to have to elevate, and our schedule is laid out for that. We're not taking an easy route. We've put in a couple other dual meet tournaments into our schedule, a tough individual tournament in the schedule, probably one of the top 5 in the country at the Cheesehead. We're doing that so we can compete at every level, and so we're ready to compete at the end of the year. Those challenges with the regionals, that's so far away with the season, we're not going to look at that. We need to look at the next one and try to score the next point, win the next match, win the next duel. And as a team, we got work in front of us. There's no question about it, and there's going to have to be sacrifices by individuals, and people are going to have to raise their hand and say, I'm willing to do that and make that commitment so we can get all of our kids in the right space by the end of the season.
So you touched on it a little bit, but as a head coach and as part of a coaching staff for a program that has traditionally been very successful and most recently been very, very successful. How do you temper expectations? For example, Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast had their little sectional preview out of the section you're in, and they had a lot of great things to say about you, especially Steve Lurquin over there from Fort Atkinson. How do you temper those expectations, but additionally keep those kids working towards that sort of end?
Well, until we win a state title, we're the underdogs. That's just the way it is. So we have to go into it look like we're the underdogs and actually act that way. And we have to have a little chip on our shoulder and put ourselves in the position where we're going to go out there. We're going to throw the first punch, if you want to coin it that way, and we're going to fight hard until the last point is scored. That's what it's going to come down to. Is the expectation is that we're not the team we were last year, and so we should have a little chip on our shoulder, and we should be thinking, well, I think we have a group of kids that can wrestle just as hard and score as many points as the ones that did last year. Whether they're willing to go that direction or not, that's some deep, dark water that they have to go into. If they're willing to do that, that's what we're trying to do as a coaching staff, is lead that expectation. So this is a yearly thing, a yearly process where we're at.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, as a former wrestler, you give everything you got on the mat, and I think everybody, the coaches, will all agree with this, and the parents that wrestled that are watching. It's gonna pay dividends in the rest of your life, and that's what really this is all about. I think everybody agrees with that. But Coach Weiler, thank you. We'll get back to you a little bit later, but I want to take it to the returning seniors here. I got a couple questions for you fellas. I'll start with Max. Max, why don't you take the mic there? And I know this is always scary, because last year we had the seniors out here and we asked them the toughest questions of all. They got tougher questions than the coaches. I took it a little easy on you guys, but just do your best, okay? This is your time to shine. Max, tell me, what does it mean to you to be a senior on the Evansville wrestling team?
Means a lot. It's my last year. I want to try my hardest, do my best. My goal is to go to state, be a good leader, inspire the youth. Yeah.
That's it, and it means to you exactly what it means to you. Everyone's got a different meaning, so I appreciate that honest answer. Blake, why don't you pick up your mic or hand him one, and why don't you answer this one for me? What is the biggest piece of advice that you would give a member or your entire wrestling freshman class right now? That includes your brother, by the way.
I would say